What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another SNA podcast video. And this one's the Wrestling News Part 60, episode 162, of course. And we're going to be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know from the wrestling news, the Wrestle Talk article on December 8th, 2023. Starting off today's video with some more speculation with Seth Rollins on CM Punk about opens up on issues with CM Punk and whether he'd worked with him, whether if he worked with him. And it says right here, Seth Rollins has opened up his issues with CM Punk following his return to WWE and whether he'd be open to work with him. Punk made his return to WWE after almost 10 years away to the climax of 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 this year's Survivor Series event in Chicago. The return came about following Punk's firing from AEW back on, September 2nd, following the investigation into the backstage altercation at AEW All In at Wembley Stadium. In August, during his return, World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins was being unhappy, attempting to get at Punk. Rollins' real life issues with Punk, life issues with CM Punk have been publicly known, and Rollins recently spoke to the Sports Illustrated media podcast where he had his issues with Punk. He said, personal, a lot of it is personal. A lot of it is stuff I don't really want to get into for the most part. I just think he's been really selfish when it comes to his perspective on the industry. I think he's been extremely self-serving, has played the mar- the martyr played a martyr role to a T and has for someone who, when I met the guy and look, I have a lot of good things to say about parts of my relationship with him. He helped me in places when he didn't. I I have I have to, whether whether that was for his own good or not. I'm never entire entirely sure. Regardless, it helped me get where I needed to be, or where I need to go. My apology. I'm not apology. I mean, need where I need to go. And, and go the things I need to do for a guy who, and when I met him, made it seem like he was all about giving back to the business. He really turned into a a pretty selfish guy in wanting wanting to take more from the industry. Look, he look he said some really bad things about me. T- Talked down about me for years, and the company for years. I'm talking someone really bad stuff. Called me a bootlick a bootlicker and a crap like that. You don't you don't know me. Like you don't know me what I stand for. I'm a loyal person, and I felt pretty insulted by by a lot of by a lot of the ways he treated me, treated the place. I I work for I work for, treated friends that I worked with. I don't and he also added, I don't I don't need to get into any of the stuff with Cold Cabana if you want to look if you want to look at that kind of stuff. That's out it's out there. Just the way he treated people. The way I felt like he's only looking out for himself. And the the way he talked about me and my friends, and the are people are here putting the hard work and at WWE, try trying to make this trying to make this thing as good as we possibly can, because we love the industry, truly love it, not just as good as we possibly can, because we love the industry, truly love it, not just what it not just what it can do for us. We actually love it, and want to give back to it, and make it the best could it could possibly be. I also felt like a, he's a fraud. He's a fraud. The long of it's a deep rooted. I wouldn't call call out call out. I wouldn't call it a hatred, but he's animosity there. Rollins continued on. And when asked there if there could be days where he could say he wasn't willing to work with Punk, he said, "Of course, and if you're working with him on essentially im, im, uh, im, im, uh, im, intimate, yeah, initially intimate levels, I should say, my apologies. The two of you trying to put a story and match together or whatever it may be. It's not like you can just go out there and wing it. You 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 could, but it's not going to go too well. Most most likely, but you have to work. You have to some work with somebody. You figure it out. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth. We- We'll we'll cross we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Luck, Luckily, you haven't had to do that yet. I assume it's only a matter of time. Whether in other venues it's at, I I don't know. That's not my decision to make. I just show up and do the work. It is what it is. You don't like everybody you work with. I certainly haven't like everybody I've been in the ring over the years, but I've I have found a way to make magic out of it. If it is Seth Rollins versus CM Punk somewhere down the road, one one way or another, it's going to be magic. Seth Rollins finally was asked, and then before I get to that, what do you think about Seth Rollins saying that CM Punk uh, said some bad things by even calling him a bootlicker and other bad things, and even him, you don't want to get into details of him. Saying some bad stuff about the company and uh, Seth Rollins, which I would say he's right on one thing about that. Well, I would say he's bad. He's right on two things about that in a way. Well, I'll say because made some references about the company and insult the company, and he did the same with Rollins. But I didn't realize he called him a bootlicker. And if I ever heard about that, I didn't know he was referring to several. Well, either way, I'm a fan of CM Punk, but I'm also a Seth Rollins fan. So I can't take no sides right here. I would say like he may be right, but whether he calling him a bootlicker is true, wherever wherever he calls him, wherever he calls him, I'll say I think he may have referenced him because he probably called somebody a wrestler. Maybe he referred to like saying like calling WWE a horrible place. But I'll say on CM Punk's side is because it was creative differences and and differences into the two parties with Punk and WWE at that time. But like Triple H said, like things has changed, and if you haven't changed in over 10 years, like there's something wrong with you. Which I would totally agree with that in a way. Like when it's when 10 years has passed, here's a real problem. Like you're wasting you're wasting your good values of life and positive self-esteem with, I'll say not self-esteem, more like a positive attitude rather than like you're wasting positive attitude for for a reason for a reason why you think you're better than the other person when you should be thinking that, like, am I really better than that person? And even so, you should still have a positively good attitude and genuine and have some genuine compassion, if you know what I mean. Yeah, and even mercy. Yeah, yeah. So I'm not sure who's right into this argument, but I'm not saying Punk. Seth Rollins noted that he was just make magic out of is Matt Riddle, which he recently got released or such a Endeavor and Endeavor WWE was merging into the singles TKO Group holding stocks. Let me rephrase that. But yeah, but we'll continue with this news story, and it is about he also adding like finally Seth was asked if he was in a position to turn down working with CM Punk. Well, like that position of facing CM Punk, to which he said that uh, that no one is forcing him to do anything, but he's will he's willed to work with Punk and potentially mend fences. He said it's a negotiation, conversation. No one is forcing something on you, but I am a businessman. Force for sure. I'm a businessman for sure. I'm hoping to do business if it's there to be done. I'm open to mending fences that that that's it. I mean, that's even possible. I know that might sound crazy, but I'm open to it. I'm almost 38, and I ain't got time to hold all these grudges. I think it's a lot of energy to hold that negativity in, and I'd like to put that energy somewhere else and make it positive. It I'm open to all different uh, fa- facets facets, I believe, of what this could be. There are certain conversations that go on. It's a not a cut and dry. You have to do this. Sometimes it it is it is. I've been in positions where it's like this is your job. I I pay you the check. This is what I want you to do. And that's how it is. That's that's okay too. If you if you don't like it, you can skip it. And I find it when it comes to stuff like that, I I think there will be a way to make it work to everybody. He says he's the best in the world. That ain't the case. I'm the best in the world. I'll make I'll make anything work no matter what, no matter who it is. A feud between Rollins and Punk is seemingly set to be the first feud of CM Punk following his return to the company. And what do you think about CM Punk? Also, also about a saying about he wouldn't turn down if that time comes for when his next feud be happens to be CM Punk, which which he said he would, but there's no forcing. He'll be saying it. He'll be saying it in a more they'll be saying in a more concerning and a more understanding kind of way. Like, do you do you want to feud with him? Like, and he's more of a genuine guy. And of what's the regardless what's the relationship with the colleagues, he regardlessly do business with him because that's what WWE would want him to do. And he trying to show his loyalties to WWE by doing things that doing things that will seem impossible to do in real life. But he'll do it for WWE's sake of things. And he'll bring magic because it'll be him that's bringing in the star power rather than the that he's disagreeing and arguing with. Which now it seems like CM Punk is happened to be that guy, and he is he didn't not like what he did for WWE and leave WWE. He said some horrible things after he got released. Like whether if he was in AEW even before he was in AEW, like when he's in sports interviews or even in fighting sports interviews like boxing or MMA, like you're never going back, and he's like. I'm not gonna leave going back to that dump, or even uh, calling their WrestleMania a buy one get one free extravaganza and a bootlicker. I think, yeah, like I agree that's a mistake that CM Punk has done, but there's one thing I see Seth Rollins has to understand. Like he made the mistake, and now he's is biting them in in the backside, I should say, yeah. And you need to understand that, and you need to understand that one thing, like that one thing, like he made a mistake, like even like he shouldn't have said, like, but he said it, and Seth, and then now he's kind of regretting it. Well, not that much, but in the wrestling business side of the way, he'd be like, if he goes back to WWE, like even before he even got released by AEW, even made his return, settled things with Triple H and the Miz and other wrestlers that he could be working with in the future. but he, but at the same time, I would say maybe it was maybe a good idea to do so to make they'll have them hire him back even more, like for him being a totally different person. And as you notice, like he haven't took any shots at WWE other than taking out his AEW World Champion, a real World Champion. But that's a reference rather than a shot at WWE. Like you're just trying to, he was trying to have, he's doing a storyline to say he didn't lost the championship. It, like some of Sami Zayn did with the Intercontinental Championship when he left when when the COVID-19 was getting bad, like really bad. So he taking that title with him. They have to crown a new championship, which I think they should have made an interim Intercontinental Champion, which I think they kind of did with AJ Styles until Jeff Hardy went, and it turned into a triple threat match. But yeah, they they had to relinquish the championship, but he held on to the championship. And then and yeah, he got that fight with Jack Perry. They both got suspended. Tony Khan released him. He's now in WWE. But yeah, like he may have said some bad. But yeah, if you notice, like when he got suspended the first time and came back, he didn't really took shots at WWE like he used to do in this, like before he got suspended. And yeah, but like in Seth Rollins, you need to move on. Like, yeah, take your differences, put your differences, take it out like when you feud with him, like, and make a storyline out of it rather than make I pitched the idea for WWE, if not doing it already, of course. My recommendations, but yeah, that'll be a good idea. Now we'll blow off some steam, and you get what you want, and he'll get what he wants. Well, more likely, you probably might more likely get what you want, like like when you possibly will retain your World Heavyweight Championship, which some tells me that Seth Rollins just might do that, which in a way that will Seth Rollins get some kind of vengeance that he has on the Punk. Comes to think of it, but what do you think about it? But he's like, but Seth Rollins also said that he'll do it. He'll face the best in the world no matter what, because he's actually the best in the world, no matter what, and he'll do business regardless. Like, yeah, just look at the likes of Matt Riddle and Cody Rhodes for an example. Two guys that he don't really like. Well, he don't have no hatred onto Cody Rhodes. It's just they're just one. He came from the other company, smashed the hammer with smashed the throne with the sledgehammer, and he's trying to take it from him. But the thing is, Cody Rhodes not trying to get his World Heavyweight Championship, even though he fought for the championship because that's what the business side of things wanted him to do, rather than rather than it being Rhodes' idea. Like otherwise, if he decided things, he'll probably be on SmackDown fighting his former Seth Rollins' former Shield mate for his Universal Championship, which I believe he will win that very championship. But what y'all think? Y'all let me know down in the comments below about it all overall. We're going to move on to the next slide. we're gonna move on to the next video. Next story, and it is WWE talks potential big signing. About potential big signing, an update has emerged on a top international star potentially signing with WWE after recent reports of interest and even an offer being made. Reports emerged recently that Julia from from Japan Promotion Stardom had received an offer from WWE, though remains under contract with Bushy Road until March of 2024. And it says, according to Dave Meltzer, has provided a further update on plans for Julia in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, writing, regarding Julia, the update is that she has not made her mind up and that she and WWE have spoken several times of late. They've talked enough that there is something to the story, the story she was going to the performance center at this time ended up not being accurate. But she has not told those in Japan that she's staying nor that she's leaving. Having debut in New Japan Pro Wrestling in 2020, Julia is the current New Japan Strong Women's Champion. She also holds the Artist of Stardom Champion, like with May Sakurai, Ma, Ma, like May Sakura, yeah, May Sakura in in Thekia, yeah. Hopefully I pronounced that right. My apologies. May Sakurai in Thekia. Julia isn't only New Japan star that WWE have their sights on, with the company reportedly having a renewed interest in Kazuchika Okada. Despite interest from WWE, Will Ospreay recently signed with AEW and will move to the company when his NJPW contract expires in early 2024. And what do you think about Julia could possibly signing with WWE in 2024, like in least in March, I believe? As I believe she'll probably lose the title between Wrestle Kingdom or any Stardom events, or even New Japan's Battle of the Valley, which I would think you'll probably be a New Japan pay-per-view. Whether if it's or not pay-per-view event, a big event. I'm too used to pro wrestling like with WWE and AEW with their special and fancy pay-per-views. I forget that I'm not sure if even wrestlers in Japan have pay-per-views. I'll call them special events like in Japan. Like what if it's Battle of the Valley or Wrestle Kingdom or any other New Japan pay-per-view? I think she's going to drop the title anytime before March, then get ready to go to the WWE. whether if it's right before WrestleMania, during WrestleMania, or even afterwards, which you'll probably see her in the developmental territory. Because the way I would see it, it'll probably perhaps be that way, unless they see some main roster potential, no way, and have her be on the main roster. But if you want to do that, sign on. If you see the main roster potential, my best recommendation is to keep her name, which is Julia, and refer her that she's the biggest star in Japan. Something that they did. We think they're going to sign her to a deal by March of 2024. And do you think they're going to do the same with Kazuchika Okada? Leave your opinions in the comments down below. And we might see and like everybody else is saying, we could hear a pin drop noise of a theme song on at the Royal Rumble if WWE gets their way. Like if its contract's expiring anytime soon. But it's only just a prediction, not a spoiler. So don't shoot the messenger in the comments down below. But yeah, but rather your predictions in the comments below. Let's move on to the next wrestling news, and it is Tony Khan criticized backstage over shocked AEW firing. Tony Khan has been criticized backstage over a recent firing in AEW that had caused shock among people in the company. Kevin Sullivan was let go for his vice president of post production role in AEW on December 4th, with the aftermath being one of shock, like confusion, and criticism of even like as recent reported, Sullivan was well respected backstage in AEW and had been with the company since the early days. The decision to terminate Sullivan was made by senior vice president and co-executive producer Mike's Mike Mansuri. In the current Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer gave an update on backstage reactions, writing, Kevin Sullivan obviously is not the wrestler, but the longtime production wits, or Wiz, I should say Wiz, like the vice president of post production, who has been here since the early days of the promotion, was let go on December 4th in a move made by Mansur, Mike Mansuri, the senior vice president and co-executive producer. The move was huge behind the scenes, particularly on the production side, since Sullivan had built the entire post production team based in Nashville. This blindsided many people, of course. Meltzer would go into further details how it blindsided people, including from manage, managerial perspective, adding the story going around was Mansuri told Sullivan that morning that they were moving in another direction in 2024. Sullivan had no idea it was coming and was giving no real explanation as to why, just that it was a Mansouri decision. People in the decision didn't even know that Mansouri was Sullivan's boss. Noting that among those in production that that never even made it clear. The story in production is that nobody else was expected to be cut, but it was a team created by Sullivan, so they are his guy. And what do you think about this story about the reasoning of Kevin Sullivan, the cause of Kevin Sullivan being fired into as senior vice president of post production? And do you think it was Mike Masurin? I hope I pronounced that right. Masurin, my bad. Mike Mansuri. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below, and hopefully he finds some luck and job elsewhere in his future endeavors. And not trying to sound like John Laurinaitis, but I'm saying hopefully he can elsewhere, whether if that be in WWE, whether if that be in TNA Impact, or even any other wrestling company like Major League Wrestling or National Wrestling Alliance, even MJPW, or any or even somewhere in the independent scene like a PWG or GCW, or even what's that other name, or CZW, or even LA, like, or even California's pro wrestling companies, and even the ones that some of my friends wrestle for as well. But anyways, let's move on to the next wrestling news, and it says out now, WWE versus AEW, the Fallout Wrestling New War reaches a nuclear climax. And it says here, according on this article, in the gripping sequel to the Amazon bestseller, WWE versus AEW, the new war, WWE versus AEW, the Fallout, delves deeper into the elect, elect, electrifying rivalry as redefined professional wrestling as we know it. As the latest chapter in this on this ongoing war, this book is a treasure, a trove of new perspectives and insights, like chron- chron- chronic chronicling the most pro, pivotal moments in recent wrestling history. Whether you're a diehard fan or a newcomer to the world of wrestling, WWE versus AEW, the Fallout is ultimate story historians guide capturing the essence like of a battle that has captivated millions and changed like the landscape of sports entertainment forever. WWE versus AEW The Fallout is available at this link. Make sure you get your copies now. Hopefully I can save up to get mine. But anyways, as both of paperback and an ebook, what's more to show our uh, appre- appreci- appreciation appreciation for Wrestle Talk fans. Like the ebook will be available at a special early bird discounted price until Friday the 15th December. Which that's Friday, which that is like in a week from now. Like I'll start making some good money by that time. I could get that for a Christmas, like a very good Christmas gift. Like, well, for myself while I'm doing some Christmas shopping for my family, like for my brothers, my sisters, my dad. I my dad that's in another town from me, and my mom, and even my nephew. And other and for others, but anyways, but yeah, like I should get this book, like get a little special book just to have, like just to learn the insights about this battle, about the history with this rivalry between WWE and AEW when it comes to TV ratings. But but it says here's a sneak peek of some of the things you find inside, like Steel Game, like John Illo L L L hope I pronounced that right. John Ello or John Ello looks back on Triple H's mod modest modest touch during NXT Black and Gold era, and now and or not now, and how but it bodes like for it bodes for the future as the esqu- as acquires more creative control. Brawlout like H HG like McLaurin takes HG McLaurin like takes us the through the events that led to CM Punk's infamous backstage bust up with the elite, like comparisons like to what happened in comparison like to the Montreal's back in Montreal screw job in 1997, the final day of Vince McMahon. Dad Brad, not Dad, Dave Bradshaw like takes a deep deep dive into the Endeavor deal and how it will define the legacy of professional wrestling's most influential figure. Like and in, co- in coping and merchandism, like coping merchandism, John Ello reflects like on Adam Edge Copeland's career and why AEW so desperately need him to be a success. And And also, don't forget you can purchase your copy of WWE versus AEW, the Fallout, at the link below. Again, seize the opportunity today. Im- immerse yourself in the adventure like of the where warfare that is sculpt sculpting and shaping a new era of sports entertainment. And I need to immerse or excuse me, immerse. I mean, not remorse, immerse myself, but do because I would have that much wad of cash at the moment, but that's none of that's not a business. But I will be having a little something. I could get the book, but it's probably be after I get some Christmas presents, do my yearly Christmas shopping for my for my family, of course. Right? But what y'all think? Let me know in the comments down below. And what do you think about the book telling the story about rapping in WWE and AEW in and outside the ring, most likely like more exclusively outside of the ring, and what kind of about? I'll let me know down in the comments below. And also we got some top WWE star expected to take time off. And it says right here, we may be excuse me. Might be missing Sami Zayn from WWE television in the near future, though it's not been officially confirmed. Zayn was last seen on December 4th episode of Monday Night Raw facing Drew McIntyre following a segment with technical difficulties. Like McIntyre would later inflict inflict further damage on Zayn, specifically to his knee, where he had asked for time off recently and was granted, but wasn't told that again for December 28th show of December 28th show. The December 28th show in label and that lave or lab Laval, I'll say Laval, Quebec, in Laval, Quebec, that would normally be built around him. That as that was during the school break, although it is possible that they could have him do that show. They could have him do that show. The attack on the knee came after the match backstage segment that can be here in the news below, which just shows it right here that Sami Zayn was the not even on Monday Night Raw on my Raw review part 17. He could be an injury angle, right? Sami Zayn off the show for a while, like to have time off, like to have some time off, like with his family, and it's and Dave Meltzer had some proof, some other proof that it's from Quebec. He's not on the Laval Quebec show like that WWE is hosting one of their special events, I believe. Like which I believe that's at a live event on like it's a rare live in on a Thursday, which I'm not sure why they're having the live events on. I mean, Saturday, but not on Sunday because for the fact that it's going to be New Year's Eve, and I think all the wrestlers want to be off on that day because that's the special night of the. That's the special that's the night next to the other holidays. Like you do not want to work on that time, especially during the night on New Year's Eve. But yeah, again, what do you think? What do you think about this? About them uh, taking him out? And do you think he really sustained an injury, or do you think that's all part of the storyline, just to write him off the show? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Next up we got some Tony Khan news on more like AEW news as AEW star reacts to claims he's been fined. Fined for his acted to claim that he's been fined by the company for the conduct and behavior on social media. A lot of AEW discourse, like of late, discourse of late has revolved around the AEW's this disciplinary com, commodity commodity that advertised Tony Khan to fire CM Punk. It was initially Fightful who reported that Danielson had headed up that commodity since moving one of the things that came up was issued to AEW by that same commodity for their social media activities. Naturally, this led to fans taking some guesses as who's the the reception of those fines, like might have been and evidently one of those names that people guessed for whatever reason was Mike Santana. So much I with them writing these tweets I, and also so much so in fact that Santana himself issued a response. He tweeted, find me. Yeah, okay. And put a laughing emoji. When asked if people had assumed it was him, Santana replied, I I guess griff of a griff I mean not griff, a gif, a GIF, a GIF, I should say. Or was a GIF? gif of himself laughing into the camera. Like Santana's last match for AEW was a win over former tag team partner Ortiz on Rampage in late October. He's since become the House of Glory World Heavyweight Champion, a a title that's been held in the past by the likes of Ricochet, EC3, and even Jacob Fatu in HOG. And what do you think about this latest wrestling news about Ortiz could possibly be the one fined for conduct on by doing some inappropriate behavior in on social media? But I'm not sure if what it could possibly be. But also, but it looks like he laughed about the matter, and I'm not sure if he got fined or anything, and probably due to absence. I doubt it had anything to do with it, even if it was even if him getting fined was the case. I don't think it had anything to do with him. The reason why he hadn't been on AEW television, maybe he's been taking bookings from House of Glory by being a champion that the likes of Ricochet, EC3, and even Jacob Fatu was in the past, which is the House of Glory World Heavyweight Champion in this independent wrestling promotion. Hopefully, he continues his success on the ROG promotion and remains to be world champion for a long time. And hopefully, we'll see him back and even bring the House of Glory World Heavyweight Championship on AEW. And hopefully, Tony Khan will do some kind of a partnership with the independent promotion, even though I'm not sure if he will partner with independent companies. But he's shown in the past he can partner with any company, like whether if it's TNA Impact or New Japan Pro Wrestling or the National Wrestling Alliance or even AAA. And I think maybe even CMLL. But still partners with AAA and New Japan Pro Wrestling at this time. And even Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor at the beginning of 2022. And then he even in the past, he said he will gladly do business with WWE and open that forbidden door. And it always will be open if WWE wants to do business. And hopefully they do. Hopefully we'll see that from World Wrestling Entertainment. And we'll see plenty of dream matches like from WWE wrestlers wrestling the AEW wrestlers in the foreseeable future. And what kind of dream match you would like it? If you guys would like to see? Y'all give y'all's answers in the comments down below. And who thinks that's the guy that the wrestler that's been fined by AEW? Is it Mike Santana? Is it Santana, or do you think it's somebody else in AEW? And what do they do? Like, if anybody knows that's out there, let me know in the comments down below. Let's move on to the next one. We have some news about details on Vince McMahon making a rare appearance at WWE HQ. A new report has revealed details on Vince McMahon making about Vince McMahon making a rare appearance at WWE headquarters on September 2nd. Endeavor announced that WWE and UFC had complete their merger to come a new sports and entertainment company like TKO Group Holdings as of 2KO Group Holding, like after Ari Emanuel removed Vince McMahon from creating the company. Now, a new report has revealed that that McMahon has made a rare appearance per PW Insider WWE HQ for the company's holiday party on Wednesday, December 6th, which was 2 nights ago, and it and the report notes that Vince McMahon has not regularly attended the holiday party in the past. He he not only attended this year's event, but also made the rounds talking with lots of company employees when when speaking when speaking to in attendance at the party. McMahon was described as approachable and friendly. Since Endeavor's acquit acquisition of WWE, McMahon's role has greatly reduced, and he has not been seen much at WWE headquarters. The report also notes that no WWE talent attended the holiday party this year, which is a change from previous years. In the past, there has been 4 or 6 WWE stars in attendance to meet and greet with employees. A new report has revealed whether Vince McMahon was involved in CM Punk's WWE Survivor Series return, which that's in another video on here on Wrestle Talk. But what do you think about Vince McMahon in the first time, perhaps, making his appearance on the WWE headquarters Christmas party back 2 nights ago at Wednesday, December 6th, 2023? Leave a comment down below. And also, what do you think about no WWE talent making it to the Christmas party to meet and greet with the headquarter employees that they're in the company? What do you think about none of the talent like they usually would? And this is the first time they have not even a single talent visit the WWE headquarters for the Christmas party, and also usually it's like 4 to 6 superstars that will make an appearance in attendance. And I think everything has changed now since the WWE was sold by Endeavor from Vince McMahon, I should say. And what do you think about these very different changes? Leave your opinions in the comments below. And let's move on to let's move on to updates on top WWE star expected to imminent return. There has been an update on a topic. Then an update on W on WW on former WWE champion AJ Styles. Okay, my bad. AJ Styles is set to make his return to WWE television after being written off in a backstage attack at the hand of Solo Sikoa in September. Styles Styles' return has been expected for a number of weeks, with uh, with him even being on WWE's advertising for tonight's Tribute to the Troops episode of SmackDown, leading many to believe that tonight would be the night the phenomenal one would reappear on our screens. However, in an update from PW Insider, AJ Styles is not slated for tonight's episode of SmackDown. We we had at one point to bring Styles back several weeks ago, but those plans were delayed. Like some, I one source I told PW Insider that it is a creative decision as to when Styles will return to television, and that is return could happen any week now. Like, but PW Insider had told it will not be this week. WWE has since announced that Cody Rhodes will be appearing on tonight's episode of SmackDown Tribute to the Troops edition, which I should have put that on my caption, my front caption. I put the hashtag Tribute to the Troops. You can check it out on to my video tonight, like when I make the review. But anyways, the show will feature the first appearance of CM Punk on on SmackDown in 10 years, following his Survivor Series return. And what do you think about see the return of SmackDown, or do you think they're gonna wait until a later date, or even after like he faces either Randy Orton or even LA Knight? Which reminds me, like, which I think we could see like three of them asking for a challenge, and Rand and Roman Reigns, how would do a triple threat main event match? Like, if he's not a triple threat match, like, for the fact that he could be like, which he could be scared that he could easily lose his WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. But I think Nick Aldis would like that idea. Like he'll be like, Roman made a lot of enemies out of the likes of Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and and also LA Knight. Which how about we do a main event four-way match, either on the opener or the main event of the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And we could see some feuds, like six-man tag feuds with the likes of LA Knight, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton against Roman Reigns, Jey Uso. I mean, not Jey Uso. Main event Jimmy Uso, self-proclaimed main event Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa, which like which I believe that could be on paper if it's going to be like a triple threat or even some kind of a three-way number one contenders match the following week. But PW Insider reported that AJ Styles' return will not be as tonight's SmackDown. But I wouldn't rule it out though. Like, it could happen. It could come out of shock, which that's what be probably once a journalist and the truth of the returning AJ Styles. But leave your comment down below, and we'll see what he's gonna be returning. And what do you think he's gonna return overall? Comments. Let's move on to the next wrestling news, which is more news about tonight's SmackDown. Like, which is the tribute to the troops event with major star set for SmackDown, which is WWE has and announced that a major star is set to appear on tonight's Friday Night SmackDown tribute to the Truth show. Tonight's December 8th episode of Friday Night SmackDown is set to be the annual tribute to the Truth edition special episode, and features the returning and a guaranteed return CM Punk to the show for the first time in 10 years. However, Punk isn't going to be the only top WWE star to appear on tonight's show, as WWE have now announced that Cody Rhodes is set to appear on the show. It has not been announced what Cody will be doing on the show, just simply that he will be appearing alongside Cody and Punk. The tournament to crown a new a number one contender to Logan Paul's United States Championship will begin on tonight's show. The first two tournament matches will be pit Bobby Lashley against Karrion Kross, a main event feud that I have on Universe Mode without Bobby Lashley. I've been doing for the past couple of weeks, which I need to start start doing a blog for that, like doing Universe Mode on my channel and make content out of it. Like, I just need to figure out how to do it from my laptop to my video game system, and if I can, then I'll be doing content for that, like, and to see plenty of that in the foreseeable future, like when I start doing Universe for WWE 2K23, because like 2K23 is kind of like when you play Universe mode, it's like playing like what it's like on the show in real life. Like, you can make it whatever you want, and even you can download the wrestlers that's not been featured on the game, and even on DLC, which that's a win-win situation. Like, if you want to make your content on WWE 2K23 realistic, you can. Like, even if you have the wrestlers that are now released, like you can either keep them on there or even keep them on there or take them off the shows that you're running on both Raw, SmackDown, and NXT roster. But to keep the wrestlers, even if they were released, like whether if they're Raw, SmackDown, NXT wrestlers, I just keep them on the game just for interest on playing the game. But yeah, no worries. We're gonna have that content be out like this. Have content like that in the foreseeable future, and I'm thinking about I'm thinking about trying to, and I'm thinking about getting thinking about doing the same when I get WWE 2K24. I'm not sure if it'll be on the Xbox One, but I would try my best to get in the Xbox Series X, or even get it on the PlayStation 5 and play it on my brother's system or something like that, and make content out of that. Like, but I think I'll try to find a way to get an Xbox Series X, like, so I can start playing the games that way on there. But keep it up to date, if you know what I mean. But yeah, but anyways, it features that Bobby Lashley and Karrion Kross. Looks promising and interesting. And we have Santos Escobar against Dragon Lee. That's who it was, Santos Escobar. My apologies for forgetting that. And who thinks going to win about those two matches, respectively? Which my prediction is going to Santos Escobar is going to win this match for the fact that Dominic Mysterio could be on tonight's tribute show, interview that he's ever received as a heel competitor, I should say. And that could lead up to Dragon Lee trying to get more revenge onto Dominic Mysterio this Saturday at NXT by North American Championship, I should say. And yeah, expect plenty of that happening at this upcoming SmackDown event. Like I'm not sure where they're gonna be. I forget, but it's gonna be a tribute to the troops event. But yeah, expect plenty of those things to happen. We also have I also set for the show is a tag team match with Randy Orton and LA Knight against the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. They announced it just now, and I was just talking about that a couple of days ago. I was like, I'm predicting that, and my predictions are correct. Orton and LA Knight's going to team, considering that LA Knight helped him last week when they were brawling against Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. And it looks like I was thinking maybe they're gonna turn this into a tag team match, and I even talked about that a couple of days ago, and I even thought of that almost a week ago, but into me when that happened, I was like, because I'm not sure if they would do so, but they did so. Both have issues with the tribal chief, and they both have unfinished business, like the others. So this makes sense on paper. Both Orton and Knight want to get some vengeance onto the tribal chief. And also we have and also not to mention we have Charlotte Flair against Asuka. I also talked about that too, about tonight's SmackDown. But yeah, it was when I said the next videos are going to be this video, the Wrestling News video, episode 160. What am I talking about? 163, I believe. Yeah, 163. Because my last night's video was episode 160 162. This is 163. 164 will be SmackDown. 165 will be AEW Rampage. My apologies. But yeah, what do you think was going to go down? What's your predictions on tonight's SmackDown? Which my predictions obviously are Randy Orton and LA Knight. I'm assuming that Charlotte for the WWE Women's Championship. But for now, I think that Kairi Sane and Io Sky are going to be facing each other rather than they're probably going to each other. But either Io Sky or Dakota Kai leading, either being the leaders of the new group, which I'm not sure if they should keep the Damage Control name, even though that's a name, but maybe they should find some tad more alliance like that. With Bobby Lashley taking on Karrion Kross for the in the main event rivalry, anywhere, backstage brawls, normal matches, etc. You get playing LA Knight against Roman Reigns rivalry as well. It's more realistic that way, and I also have Asuka, even though Io Sky is actually the WWE back in June when I got the game. So I made it like that. Though that's why it's in that manner, because it was before Bianca Belair won the title back, and Io Sky cashing it in, which that was in August from this year. But what do y'all think about tonight's SmackDown genuinely? And do you think it's going to be a good show? And even for being a AEW star in a Ring of Honor Women's at a Ring of Honor Final Battle. Next week's episode of Ring of Honor, I think